Ryan and I spent an amazing and unforgettable week in Glacier National Park. Here we take you along on our adventurous day hiking the Highline Trail.
Hey Wanderers, it is a bright and beautiful morning here in Glacier National Park. Today we are embarking on the Highline Trail.
Now we'll be doing a modified version of the Highline Trail, starting at the Logan Pass Visitor Center, going to the Grinnell Glacier Overlook, and then coming back to the Visitor Center because the shuttle service isn't running due to COVID-19.
We have 15 miles ahead of us. Let's get going.
The Highline is one of Glacier's most popular hikes, and for good reason. Right away, you're treated to a sneak peek of the incredible scenery that awaits you, and maybe some wildlife if you're lucky. Before even starting the trail, we had spotted a herd of Bighorn sheep in the distance.
Yeah,
that's right. That was in my head the second that I saw the rams.
well, look in the bushes too, because the goats will lay there.
Oh yeah.
You won't even know they're there. But they're white, so that should help.
I'll just think it's snow, that's the problem.
A quarter mile into the trail, you come to a dramatic ledge. A crowd pleaser for sure, but not for the faint of heart.
So this begins the section of the Highline Trail that makes it maybe infamous. As you can see, it's a kind of narrow path, but isn't that nice? They've put a garden hose here for you if you get nervous. If you're afraid of heights, this might be an iffy portion for you, but it doesn't last very long.
The hand cable-lined ledge lasts only 0.3 miles as it overlooks the Going to the Sun Road 100 feet below. Since this thrilling spot is so close to the trailhead, many hikers walk here for pictures and then head back to Logan Pass. The trail here is 4 to 6 feet wide, allowing enough space for traffic moving in both directions. And be ready for many other hikers. You'll be hard-pressed for solitude at any point on the Highline.
Make sure to stop and take in the views around you, and don't forget to look behind you too.
Once past the cliffside section, the trail levels out and crosses several cascades along the edge of the garden wall. The flow of water was light when we visited, but the streams can be heavier after rains or snowmelt.
So we definitely recommend having waterproof hiking boots if you're going to do this trail. So far we've crossed about half a dozen little streams and waterfalls that are crossing right through the trail that we've had to walk through. But it's been nice knowing our shoes are waterproof and we're covered.
Shoes with good traction are also a must for the Highline. We crossed snow, ice, and loose shale throughout our hike, so make sure you have appropriate footwear.
Now while hiking this trail, you might have the chance to see some wildlife, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Because you might fall.
You fell and it's all on camera.
Yep. And while hiking this trail, you might have the chance to see some wildlife. We've been told there are some goats up ahead. We're excited to see those. Earlier we spotted some bighorn sheep. But of course, wildlife is wild. Keep your distance. You want to stay 25 yards away from most wildlife and 100 yards away from bears. Oh, I see something moving up there. Probably just a bird, apparently.
As we moved out of the shadow of the mountain, we found ourselves in full sunlight. Keep in mind that at this point you have virtually no shade for the rest of your hike, so bring a hat, some sunscreen, and plenty of water, and be ready to climb.
Keeps going, man. It just keeps going. At least it's pretty. Whew.
This part of the trail is tough, as it rises almost 300 feet up a long switchback to the saddle between Haystack Butte and Mount Gould. But the views as you reach the crest are breathtaking. You are now 3.6 miles into your hike.
And keep an eye out for wildlife too.
Hello, goat. Hello, fuzzy goat. Come here. Come here. Oh. I don't think he's listening to me. Oh, hi. Oh, that's so cute. It's like you talking to me.
This was the closest we got to a mountain goat on our hike. But stay alert, wildlife can linger around any corner. In fact, a favorite tiny mammal of ours made an appearance, or at least called out its signature chirp, soon after our goat encounter.
Do you hear that little squeak sound out there somewhere? It's either a Colombian ground squirrel or a pika. I hope it's a pika.
Pikas are these really cute little mammals that we first heard in Portland, Oregon years ago. We do not have them in North Carolina, but when we hear the squeak, we always perk up and we're like, it's a pika!
At this point, the trail leveled off again, and we could see the Granite Park Chalet in the distance. We had hiked nearly 7 miles so far, but the hardest part was only just beginning.
We have reached the Grinnell Glacier Overlook trail. This is an offshoot of the Highline trail.
It is pretty much straight up the side of a mountain for about a mile. It is apparently extremely grueling, but everyone does say it is absolutely worth it, so we're doing it. So we're going up this trail and we have an audience of 3 marmots. 1, 2, 3. They're just sitting there staring at us. Wish us luck, marmots. Bye, marmots. I'm gonna continue the climb.
Why is this spur trail so difficult? Despite what the sign says, most people will tell you that the trail is closer to 0.9 miles long, and within that time, you gain 900 feet of elevation. That means for every 5 feet you move forward, you also gain 1 foot in elevation. It's rough. We had to stop and catch our breath about every 20 to 30 steps. The loose shale can also make the trek a bit precarious, especially if there is snow or ice on the trail. Luckily, the incredible views will motivate you to keep going. And those that are making their way back down will also urge you on, saying it's so worth it and you've got this.
This is what we trained for, Kelly.
Here's where we were convinced we had finally made it to the top.
Oh, it's a little bit farther, babe.
Oh, dang. You always hope.
But just a little farther on and bingo, we made it.
Well, wanderers, we made it to the top and then some.
And we got to the end of the trail and the view was fantastic, but we had read online that if you just go a couple hundred yards to your right, the view is even better. And that's what is behind us right now. Take a look.
From here, you're treated to stunning views of Salamander Glacier, Grinnell Glacier, the surreal turquoise hue of Upper Grinnell Lake, plus views of Grinnell Lake, Lake Josephine, and Swiftcurrent Lake far in the distance.
Well, wanderers, thank you for joining us on our journey to the Grinnell Glacier Overlook via the Highline Trail. All we have left is a 7.5 mile hike back.
If you liked this video, check out our other Glacier National Park hikes, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our content, and as always, thanks for watching us wander.